Hello and welcome. With Team Developer 6.3, you now have full access to the new server and client features of SQLBase 11.7, including new SQL INI parameters and connections to the database without a configuration file like SQL INI. What you have to do is you just provide a connection string and fill in all the name value pairs and connect to the database. Using the sample application here, I can show you how that works. In this top field here, you see a connection string for a SQLBase 11.7 database. Right now, you see we are not connected. I'm putting the status in the title bar of the windows here. And now I can change the connection string parameters to connect to the database. For example, if I provide a wrong password and try to connect, then it takes a while. That's just a security measure. And then it says invalid password. Let's correct my password here and try to connect. And it works, and I can query the database. And in the background, you can see the SQLBase server screen as it is executing the SQL tasks coming from the client. Now this connection string makes sure that you can connect to the database without having a SQL INI file at all. I can also leverage the new SQLBase 11.7 client features like the transport keyword and change, for example, the transport from named pipes that I have here. And you see that the transport is npipe on the server as well, so it's synchronized because I'm using this connection here. And I can change that to TPC version 4, for example, and then try to connect again. And then you see that a connection using the transport protocol TCP version 4 is being made to the database. And of course, I can query the data if I like. Another important new security feature in SQLBase 11.7 is the encryption of database traffic between client and server. To achieve this, I can put a parameter here into the connection string, and I just put in SSL equals always, meaning that I always want to connect using encryption. Now let me connect. And now an encrypted connection to SQLBase has been created, and all the traffic between client and server is SSL encrypted. Let's look at the code behind this. This is the form window code here, and in contents there's a push button pb connect, and this push button has message actions. There's a click event that is being reacted on, and there's something here, set SQL database equals connection string colon and then the contents of the data field connection string. So basically, if the system variable SQL database contains the keyword connection string and after that the actual connection string, then team developer will use the connection string to connect to the database instead of using the SQL INI configuration file. And in the next step, I'm just connecting to the database like you would always do it using SQL Connect. So the SQL database variable is the key to SQL INI-less database connections. Team Developer 6.3 also allows you to use the new SQLBase 11.7 configuration file format. Let me show you that SQL INI file. There are new keywords that you can use, like the transports keyword, and you can see that I have transports set to TCP version 4. Then you can set the SSL settings that I previously did set in the connection string. You can define those here in SSL equals SSL only equals 1. And this new format of 11.7 is now supported with Team Developer 6.3 as well. Let's try this. Let me just comment this line here. So now the default value of SQL database will be used, which is the island database name, and no connection string will be used. And let me compile this application again. And I should be able to connect to the database. And you see it's a TCP version 4 connection. And I can continue to query the database using the new configuration file format. So new options like new configuration file format and if you like, configuration file less connections using connection strings.